There's this triangle of displaced love that happened in my family. So, my father was not there for me growing up. My mom got pregnant and they weren't together anymore, and he did not want me to be born. So, I grew up with my mom and my stepdad, and my dad would pop in now and then. My dad's father was not there for him. They got married really young, and then he went off to Vietnam. And when he came back, she got pregnant, and they were kind of caught in a loveless marriage. My dad's father was an alcoholic, and he spent all of his time at work so that he didn't have to go home and be miserable. And so my dad was one of those emotionally neglected Gen Xers who basically grew up without a dad. And when his dad hit his 40s, he had a spiritual awakening. He sobered up, he started going to church, and he became a loving person. He resolved his trauma, and he went back to Michigan to resolve his relationship with his own alcoholic father, my great-grandfather. And by the time I came along as a grandchild, my grandpa was the most loving person. He has made me feel the most loved of anyone in my life. And in many ways, my grandfather gave me the fathering that I needed from my father. My dad and I are not close, and my dad and his father are not close. And my dad's like, how can you love that man so much? That man neglected me. That man was not there for me. And I'm like, by the time I came along, he was a different man. I think that it's harder to have a good relationship with your own children. It's harder to give them what they need when you have them at a young age and you're not economically established. I think that it's so much easier to be there for a child as a grandparent, not only because you have money, but because you have done the self-development and healing work in order to be a good teacher and lover of a developing child. It's too bad that humans lose their reproductive capacity when they get old, because it seems to me we would have much better childhoods if our grandparents could raise us. And a lot of people were raised by their grandparents. But I just see in my family how nobody got the fathering that they needed because their fathers were too young and they were alcoholics. And I really hope that I can be there for my grandfather as he ages and needs long-term care. I hope that I can be there for him in his end of life. But I don't know if I would have the love for my own father to do that. And it's just really interesting to me how that all played out.